Hi, my name's Rob Symington and I'm a member of the fifth generation of the Symington family to produce port and wine in the north of Portugal. Our company is called Symington Family Estates and we are the world's leading producer of premium port wines, as well as the largest vineyard owner in the Douro Valley. We have been operating in this region for 5 generations with a deep and sincere commitment to the local community, as well as the beautiful environment where we produce our wines. What excites me about the work that we do is that we have a long-term mindset. We think in terms of generations. When you plant a vineyard, you're waiting at least 5 years before that fruit is at the quality that you need to produce great wines. And so everything we do is thinking about the future and the decisions that are made today influencing the reality that we will step into tomorrow. So this is a fantastic place to work, surrounded by heritage, tradition and history, but with a mindset of innovation, sustainability, and with our eyes wide open to the challenges that we face over the coming decades, be they environmental or societal. In terms of my own motivations to want to join my family business, which I did join 4 years ago, moving from the UK back home to Portugal, I think the primary driving force for me was being able to step into an environment where my cousins, my colleagues, and my other family members understood the severity of the threats and challenges that we face in terms of the environment and socially. And so it's a great privilege to have a family business and to be able to operate in one where we have the ambition to respond to these challenges that we face with all of the resources and tools at our disposal, for me was the primary driving force to make me want to join this long tradition and follow in the footsteps of my father and grandfather. So in terms of integrating the SDGs into our business, obviously we started with a mapping to understand what the framework consisted of and the applicability of all of the various goals and sub-goals to our own reality. So this served as something of a gap analysis or a mapping process to then understand where we were already on track and where we had areas of our operation that could be adjusted or to adapt our plan and our way of operating to align more closely with the SDGs. In terms of the challenges of integrating the SDGs into our business, I think the primary one, and it's a very simple one, is that the SDGs speak the language of sustainable development, which isn't necessarily always the language of how a business functions with strategy and plan and thinking about the markets and sales and marketing and commercial strategy. So for us, there was a process of understanding the implications of this framework at the same time as allocating sufficient resource internally to ensure that the work was being prioritized and not just taken care of by 1 or 2 people in a team, but actually spreading the language of the SDGs across all of our departments so that there was internal understanding and education amongst all of our colleagues to understand what are the implications of this commitment for how we do business today and how we seek to evolve our activity going forwards. In terms of the impact of the SDGs on our business, I think the primary benefit has been that it has catalyzed a different way of thinking about innovation within our organization. And actually this comes to the fundamentals of what is a business for. In the 20th century, the definition of success for a business was create a product or service of value, make money for your shareholders, and frankly, don't break the law. I think the reality that we're operating within today in the 21st century means that the very definition of business success has evolved and has to broaden to understand the impact of your activity on environment and all of the stakeholders throughout your value chain. So for us, this has really changed how we understand what success is for us as a business, what KPIs we measure, not just financial, but our societal and environmental metrics. And indeed is opening up areas of innovation which will benefit us in the market in terms of what consumers are looking for from wine brands, and areas of research and development, not just in the vineyard, not just in the winery, but also in our packaging and our route to market. So it's opened up a different mindset for us in terms of how we think of growing and progressing our business, as well as thinking about different funding sources and EU research and development projects that could be relevant to us and to benefit us as an organization. So the impact has been overwhelmingly positive. So the advice we would give to any startup or organization seeking to implement the SDGs in their organization is, first and foremost, you have to allocate dedicated resource to this project. It is an intensive process of mapping where you are today, the implications of the SDG framework, and therefore an improvement or a roadmap to ensure that the organization is actually walking the walk, not just talking it. That is the point of departure. And from that point, you have to ensure that senior people are supportive of your efforts so that these initiatives actually are being reviewed and discussed at the highest level of the organization. I strongly believe this is the only way to ensure the change, the internal change necessary to bring SDGs to the core of a company or a business's operations.